These were targeted and specific subpoenas, and each was different based on the information we believed the banks possessed. Every one of those subpoenas returned valuable information that had been unreported and that contributed to this committee's understanding of how the Bidens conducted their businesses.
Hey, time for another Rick Take. Who's shitting Biden's pants? Is it him or is it Hunter? Let's jump into the article. So, CIA operatives aided in Hunter Biden laptop cover-up. Congress reveals massive China-linked influence peddling scheme. Oh boy, these Biden fuckers should probably be shitting their pants. They really should be. This is by Raheem J. Kassam. This is from the National Pulse. I normally don't use articles like this, but it's really, not many news outlets are covering what Mr. Comer released yesterday. So, without much more delay, here we go. The U.S. Congress's Oversight and Weaponization Committees have respectively confirmed swaths of 2020 National Pulse reporting into family business practices of President Joe Biden, revealing what appears to be an influence peddling grift involving his son Hunter, as well as 8 other family members. Wow! The report also confirmed that the U.S. National Intelligence Apparatus aided and abetted the Bidens in covering up their links to Chinese communist-linked entities that were paying massive amounts in exchange for political favors, as well as attempting to delegitimize the release of Hunter Biden's laptop and its contents. The first memo from Representative James Comer concludes, Biden family members and business associates created a web of over 20 companies. Most were limited liability companies formed during Joe Biden's vice presidency. Bank records show the Biden family, their business associates, and their companies received over $10 million from foreign nationals companies. This committee has identified payments to Biden family members from foreign companies while Joe Biden served as vice president and after he left public office. The Biden family used business associates companies to receive millions of dollars from foreign companies. Complicated financial transactions appear to conceal the source of the funds and reduce the conspicuousness of the total amounts made into the Biden bank accounts. Chinese nationals and companies with significant ties to Chinese intelligence and the Chinese Communist Party hid the source of the funds by layering domestic limited liability companies. The memo also confirms that after he assumed the vice presidency in 2009, Joe Biden's son Hunter Biden and his business associates formed at least 15 companies, which processed transfers ranging from approximately $5,000 to at least $3 million. It also confirms the $80,000 diamond gift to Hunter Biden from Chinese Communist Ye Jinping in 2017, as well as providing examples of how the Biden foreign money was moved around. Here's my Rick take. If this type of activity was to be conducted by me or you, the average listener, watcher, what have you, you'd be fucking arrested without question. Why the fuck do these idiots get away with it? I guess we'll get the answers to that later on down the road. But let's continue with the article. A second report out from Congress's Weaponization Committee examines how a letter signed by 51 intelligence operatives aided the Biden campaign in its cover-up of the Hunter Biden laptop that led to the revelations above and more. There's always more. I'd say bring Billy Hayes in here. Yeah, Billy Mays. Whatever the guy's name is. But look, there's more. There's always more. I don't care if I fuck that up. It's going to be in the... I don't edit this shit out. I really don't. It'd probably make you laugh. The report confirms a number of bombshell revelations, including a major admission from former acting CIA Director Michael Morell. who admitted in testimony to drafting the statement from 51 former intelligence officials with a view to helping Vice President Biden in the debate. Morell and his colleague Mark Palmeropoulos, geez, Greek name there, even went so far as to exchange text messages boasting about their efforts duping the American public into believing the hard drive was Russian disinformation, and suggested that there may be jobs or money involved as a reward. The admission came against the backdrop of America's Central Intelligence Agency itself fast-tracking the letter and even reportedly approaching former intelligence officials with a view to having them sign on to the letter too, which they did. In effect, the CIA aided a foreign-linked presidential campaign, that of the Bidens, against the sitting commander-in-chief, President Trump. Here are some, I don't know what to make of it, but I can't really, fuck it. I'll enlarge it. See if that does anything. See if y'all can see it. Okay, good. So, this is from the person who wrote the article, Rahim Kassam. People didn't want these paragraphs into that IC letter. They say, too political, but the whole letter was political. What they really mean is, this isn't true, and they wouldn't put their names to it. Wowza! Ukraine, this is excerpts here. Ukraine, which were later omitted from the final version of the public statement. I'll read what's highlighted. When the vice president took a private and public stand against the prosecutor general of Ukraine, Viktor Shokin, he did so as a matter of Obama administration policy, because Shokin was corrupt, because he was not investigating corruption in Ukraine, and because the Obama administration wanted a prosecutor who would. This included any corruption at Burisma. Shokin was not investigating Burisma. Biden was not protecting Burisma. Indeed, by arguing that Ukraine needed an aggressive prosecutor, Biden was arguing for just the opposite. The Russians want you to think otherwise. Some of the signatories objected to these paragraphs as too political. So the CIA fast-tracked the letter and approved it despite its overt political nature and falsehoods. They boasted about how it might land them jobs or money. This is a text message between Michael Morell and Mark Palmeropoulos. You have some juice. More than me now. With the PRB? Yes, ha. Ha is right. They are probably afraid I'm coming back. So true. I'm getting lots from inside trying to put in good word with you. It's pretty funny. That's funny. Over coffee, I will tell you. You should milk this. Charge a consulting fee. Right? Like Nick. Extortionist Nick! Smiley face. We'll send you the final copy once Nick sends it to me. Asked about his role in the letter, Morell confirmed to Congress, there were two intentions here, right? One was to make clear to the American people that the Russians were interfering in the election, and the other was to help Vice President Biden in the debate. Asked why he and his fellow signatories to the now infamous letter wanted to help Joe Biden, Morell responded, because I wanted him to win the election. As if that is a reason. Morell is a fucking scumbag. There's another hot take of mine. The outright admission over the politicization of the U.S. national security apparatus, I still can't talk today, is certain to rankle its chief figures in Washington, D.C., causing further concern over the legitimacy of the 2020 election itself and questions over 2024. Colluding against the commander-in-chief. Close examination of the report reveals that the committees also believe that the CIA may have promoted the statement, with an employee alleged to have solicited signatures for it, representing one of the most heinous acts of political interference by the government in any election ever. Question. And as you sit here today, do you believe the Russians were involved in the Hunter Biden laptop matter? Answer. I don't know. I mean, I still have suspicions, Congressman. Question. Would you organize such a letter today knowing what you know now? Answer. I would have to write it differently because we now know the emails are authentic, right? So you couldn't say anymore, we don't know whether it's information or disinformation. But I still have suspicions about a Russian role in these emails getting to the New York Post. The United States Central Intelligence Agency colluded behind the back of its own commander-in-chief to aid in opposing and China-backed candidate, using lies and officialdom. This is wild. Dave Cairns explained that he spoke with the PCRB in October 2020 regarding the review of his memoir, and during that call, the CIA employee asked him if he would sign the statement. I was told about the draft letter. I agreed to sign. Too political. The report reveals there was an earlier, even more partisan version of the letter that some signatories were uncomfortable with, denying Biden was involved in corruption in Ukraine and claiming that his suspect actions there were, if anything, in aid of fighting corruption. Okay, we already read this. They added that twice. Like the Bidens, the CIA is failing to fully cooperate with the investigation, with the report noting that requests for documentation that were expected to be met by April 4th have gone unanswered. Oh, this is new. Okay. Even Morell testified, I did not coordinate with the CIA. Had I known at the time this might have been in the letter, then I certainly would have reported this to then. The director of the agency. Okay. The CIA refuses to comply with the congressional investigation into this. Seems legit. The committee sent a letter to CIA Director William cut off in March 21st, 2023, requesting documents about the CIA's... I'm just going to go to the page, see if it... there we go. William J. Burns on March 21st, 2023, requesting documents about the CIA's review of the statement and its interactions with former CIA employees such as Cairns about the statement. The committees requested that the CIA furnish these documents by April 4th, 2023. To date, the CIA has failed to respond to this request. There's the weaponization report, and that concludes the article, I think. Yeah, that's the article. Wow. There's going to be a lot that develops regarding this story, as if there wasn't a lot about it beforehand when, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist for believing any of this. Well, rule 1, with any sort of corruption, follow the money. These morons left themselves a nice little breadcrumb trail for these investigators to find out, and they're going to figure it out. This has turned out to be kind of a long one. I flubbed a lot, had a few word stumbles. I'll probably leave them in because, honestly, I don't care. This is just for the fun of it, right? If you liked what you saw, give me a thumbs up. Share my video. Share it with friends, family. Follow my channel. Subscribe to it, please. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. I don't care. I do this for the fun of it. Hate watch it. Hate share it. Because that's what haters do. And the week is almost at an end. Have a blessed Thursday. Peace out. Now for a few words from former President Donald Trump.
Please welcome the frontrunner for the Republican nomination, former President Donald Trump. Back to what happened on that day.
He
you said
did
you
not
weren't.
say that.
He has testified that, Mr.
He
President.
did not say that.
But you said you weren't very involved that day. You did tell your supporters to come to Washington. You tweeted about it, about
Sure,
that
of
speech
course.
that happened on the rally.
Am I allowed to say that?
When they went to the Capitol and they were breaking into the Capitol, smashing windows, injuring police officers, why did it take you 3 hours to tell them to go home?
I don't believe it did. Oh, let me pull it out. I have to pull it out. So if you look at, on January 5th, the day before, I said, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. Stay peaceful. This was the day before, and this was in the form of Twitter. Now I use Truth Social. I think it's far superior, okay? I hope everybody's on Truth. If you look January 6th, this is before 2:30. I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. This is right after, as it was happening. But what happened is they took it down. I don't know why. I think they took it down because it was so good. They didn't like it being up there. I am asking, and we didn't know until I got it back, because now I have 90 million people waiting for me to go back, but I'm on Truth, and I'm staying on Truth. Listen, I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violation. We want no violation. We want no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. That was at 2:30. That was very early.
Mr. President, I looked at the same timeline that you did.
No,
Once
no,
it was
but you
clear,
didn't report that. You know why? Because it was
we
taken
did report
down.
it. I was reporting that
It was taken
thing.
down and it wasn't.
But when
put
it was
back
clear, back to CNN's Republican presidential town hall with former President Trump. President Trump, we have a lot more voters' questions, I should note, in here in New Hampshire to get to. But I also want to talk about some of the other investigations that you're facing. We talked about others at the top, but one of those is the special counsel's investigation into classified documents that were found at Mar-a-Lago. Why did you take those documents with you when you left the White House?
I had every right to under the Presidential Records Act. You have the Presidential Records Act. I was there and I took what I took, and it gets declassified. Biden, on the other hand, he has 1,850 boxes. He had boxes sent to Chinatown, where they don't speak even English in that Chinatown we're talking about.
I got to stop you right there.
Nobody talks about him. They talk about us. Just so you understand, I had every right to do it. I didn't make a secret of it. You know, the boxes were stationed outside of the White House. People were taking pictures of the GSA of the various people.
I got to stop you right there, though, because the
moving.
Presidential Records Act, which is not well known to a lot of people, I read it. It does not say that you can take documents with you. It says actually that they are the property of the federal government.
It says you talk, you negotiate, you make a deal. It's not criminal, by the way.
The Presidential
Records Act is not criminal.